Lying activist writer worse than AI? Wait, what? Saber Interactive CEO? Wait, is this what happened here?
I'm going to be talking about a very interesting situation involving Saber Interactive, the developer of many games, including Space Marine 2 and the upcoming Space Marine 3. Now, this company is facing a lot of backlash right now from the modern audience, who's trying to start boycotts targeting this company and all of the games they're attached to because they believe that they fired a trans employee and replaced them with AI.
I felt the fucking Mozart gift. You know the Mozart gift where he like looks up and he just drops all the papers on the ground? Like, I felt that in my soul. I felt it in my soul just now, man.
It all comes thanks to a post from Paul Tassi. This journalist post has gone viral with 4 million views. You can see the headline here, and we'll get into the reactions in a second, but let's read it. A woman writing a Saber game said she was fired and replaced with AI, and the CEO response is one of the most insane things I've ever read. So here's the interaction with the CEO, where he
I have not heard the story at all.
Responds by saying, "Stella who? I had to ask Claude AI because I had never spoken to her or seen her. We have already said we're using AI for certain parts of the game, and we'll update the Steam page once we have finalized the feature set."
Oh my goodness.
This person who's being canceled, the CEO, for replacing this writer with AI, immediately said, "I need to ask AI who this person is because I don't feel like I even remember who they are."
By the way, guys, I'm a writer, so I'm allowed to laugh at this. All right, guys? They can't say shit. They can't say shit to me because that's part of my job. It's always been a part of my job. Even when I was doing game development, game design stuff for companies, I did a lot of writing.
In the first place. Very funny, but he continues on saying, "Let me clarify that the entire story script, were it to win an award, would go to someone who can walk up on stage and receive it. It was always our intention to reveal this until Stella..."
Wait, what? Let me clarify the entire story script. Were to win an award would go to someone who can walk up onto stage and receive it. Okay.
Violated her confidentiality clause and revealed this before we were ready. I think that is the most important takeaway of this entire section. The CEO continues on saying, "We look at our use of AI in this particular game, which will be lower priced title, as a plus for consumers. As far as Stella is concerned, she was replaced by someone more talented and terminated for a variety of reasons a few months later. From what I can gather, she enjoys controversy even more than I do. I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we would be dealing with someone programmed."
This is so fucking cathartic. Isn't it, chat? Like, oh my god. Holy fuck. It's about fucking time.
Unfathomably based, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, there's really two interactions with this post. People saying I'm buying whatever game they're talking about based on this response alone.
Me too,
but also people pointing out, it was a trans woman, by the way. Of course, this would be the response to firing her from a CEO who's an outspoken fan of Asmongold. Oh boy, yeah, we'll get into that later. But there's also countless posts saying they want to boycott anything to do with this company and its CEO, including the Space Marine IPs.
We're all buying it, right, chat? We're gonna counter boycott. We're gonna buy this game.
And of course, this story reported by Paul Tassi is falling apart at the seams because everything he's trying to represent here is pretty easily debunkable. But let's take a look at the writer in question, Stella, who is extremely active on Blue Sky to their own dismay, as we'll point out in a second. But look at their bio, listing themselves as a lesbian. I didn't know this was a dating website. Very strange thing to put in your
you gotta let people know. You gotta let everyone know the buffs, obviously.
Rated Blue Sky account, but then again, many such cases. But recently, they reposted a screenshot of theirs from 2023.
Bro, this is worse than I thought. Got replaced for writing by ChatGPT. Not even Claude. Holy fuck.
Where they said, I got...
ChatGPT is better than Claude, not for narrative writing now. Sploogie. ChatGPT is better. It's really, really good at like coding. It's So it's like comparable, like it's slightly, like it's technically slightly worse than Fable, but it's significantly cheaper. So Soul is really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, right? But for narrative writing specifically, Claude does better.
Replaced on one of my games at work with ChatGPT. Now, this starts to raise a lot of eyebrows because in the articles used by journalists like Paul Tassi, you can see it's reported that the LinkedIn page for Stella indicates that they worked as the lead writer for Saber Interactive from July 23rd or July 2023 to July 2024. So based on the timeline being presented here, they were apparently fired and replaced with AI in December of 2023, but kept working as the lead writer until July 2024, nearly 8 months later. That makes absolutely no sense. But Stella has been on a warpath ever since it was recently announced, this whole rideshare simulator by Saber here. And
is this like Crazy Taxi but more gay?
I didn't even see this had been announced. I was the lead writer on this one, and Saber replaced me with ChatGPT midway through development. All the passenger
Gazy Taxi, exactly.
AI too. Either they changed the direction at some point, or they're not disclosing it on Steam. But all of this again starts to unravel as people dig into not only Stella's own posts, but some of the articles reporting on this. People saying, he said she was terminated for cause violating her NDA. Employers need to be able to trust their employees. Stella is clearly not trustworthy. And that is very abundantly clear based on Stella's own post saying, hey everybody, I've seen the statement from Matt Karch, the CEO of Saber Entertainment, and all of the truly horrendous things he said about me. I think it should be obvious to anyone who reads that statement that he's lashing out because he did not want people to know there was AI use in the game. Everything I said was true. Here's more truth. That statement is remarkably pathetic from the CEO of any company to be making, and combined with...
No, we need more CEOs like that. I'm gonna be honest. We need more CEOs that don't act like politicians and actually act like leaders. That's what they need. They need to man up and actually take control of these companies, like for real, and actually steer the companies like real leaders.
With the AI use, it would do far more damage to Saber's reputation.
I'm tired of the politician shit
than it ever could to mine. This screed will be many people's first exposure to the Saber brand.
I love it.
Yada 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 about appreciating everyone, but going back to the statement that they're using. These journalists, it says from the CEO that Stella violated a confidentiality clause and revealed that there was AI in the game before they were ready to publicly disclose that. So, based on their claim, Stella was fired not just to replace them with AI, but instead because they were violating their confidentiality clause and causing damage to the company by gossiping on social media, which kind of makes sense when you're looking at this individual who seems like they can't keep their mouth shut. But anyways, they even say down here that they didn't replace Stella.
It's a really big one too. It's a really, really big one there because it probably wasn't, like if I had to guess, it was probably the business team. Like whoever does like the marketing or whatever, they're probably the ones that wanted them fired because they probably had like a strategy for this. And this person completely fucked their strategy. That's what I'm guessing happened. And they were like, dude, like we had like a whole plan for how we were going to announce this. And like, you just fucked it for everybody.
But in retrospect, they wish they did. So then there wouldn't have been all these leaks thanks to Stella. But of course, the sheep over on social media are gobbling up the narrative that's being presented, saying boycott at Hellraiser game. This is effing disgusting to see. Another person saying you can block publishers on Steam. It'll stop their games from coming up in the store page so you don't accidentally support this piece of crap company. Another one saying lovely. You put Saber Games on the a-hole companies to boycott list. What a scummy statement. Hashtag.
Dude, it's gonna be hilarious if this company does like really well after this.
FAI.
Honestly, if you just got rid of all of these people, these ideological people in these game companies, the games will be way better.
Another one saying, for all of my horror fans who plan to play the Hellraiser game, to reconsider playing and boycott. Generative AI has no place in gaming. Do better.
Like the reverse Midas touch.
Boycott the Hellraiser game. My guys, you can't even boycott the site owned by Elon Musk. Your calls to boycott anything rings hollow when you refuse to give up even one thing you want based on principles. Yeah, most of them have blue check marks as well. They can't leave anything that they actually want to engage with. Instead, they put pressure on others to boycott things that they probably had no interest in playing in the first place to get, I guess, a sense of control over others. But then again, that's what all these cry bullies want. But also people are pointing out the Asmongold connection, saying same dude, showing a screenshot of the CEO's comment on an Asmongold video saying something very controversial. Journalists were very upset about this. He said, hey man, CEO of Saber here, I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had the chance to work on something which, by its nature, was old school.
I should finish this game, honestly. I don't know why I stopped playing it. Actually, I think I know why. Didn't Fate Trigger have a test? I think that's what happened. I think Fate Trigger had a test and I stopped playing. Is that what happened? That's what happened, right, chat? Yeah. I should go back and play it, though.
I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They are too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. This is what we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion. We want to do some glory kills and get the heart.
I like that he added immersion because I love that. I love that. This is why I love viscerality so much. It makes you feel like really in the moment. That's my favorite game design word, by the way, visceral.
Rate up a little. For me, that is what games should be about. Guys, the CEO basically said in his comment that he wants to make games fun and immersive. And because
hold on, is he saying he wants to make gaming great again?
It was on an Asmongold video. Journalists were canceling the CEO and people were outraged and boycotting the game as a result. The softest people ever. And speaking of,
they don't even play the games, to be honest. They don't play them.
Very upset on social media.
This is what I meant earlier. Remember that I was saying about like understanding like who the audience is? These people don't even play these games. So like fuck them. Why do you even care? They're not gonna play it anyway. I mean, like they come out with Dustborn, no one fucking plays it. They come out with Mixtape, no one fucking plays it. Like nobody cares. No, they don't even play these games. So what are we even talking about?
Yeah,
it's an imaginary audience, not even real.
This from a CEO. Buy Hellraiser. Well, luckily Hellraiser game waited way too long to put a pre-order out, so now I can save my money. Huh? Guess I'm not buying SM3 Space Marine 3. Games Workshop is incredibly anti-AI, so I would not be shocked if they cancel Space Marine 3 over this. Yeah, they're going to cancel Space Marine 3 over this situation, absolutely. But of course, a lot of these claims by Paul Tassi have been heavily criticized. But what's most important to Paul Tassi and these journalists? What is the thing they're responding to in the comments? It's ones like these saying,
I want total destruction. I want AI to be used in every game. Like, I can't wait for this future. I can't wait for a future where the consumers have a choice from so many games and we're just cup overflowing with good games because we have small lean teams of people who can actually make good decisions, working together, passionate people, and we kick out all of these people that actually don't even care about games. We kick all of them out. They all lose their jobs, and we replace them with clankers that just do the bidding of people that actually care. That's what I want. That's the future I envision. Yeah, only gamers. Exactly.
More CEOs should do that. That was funny.
Onlygamers.com.
Why did you have to say a woman? Why couldn't you just say former employee? It's little things like that I find interesting about you type. And Paul says,
you want to know what happened? Let me explain it like this. This is what happened. So back in the day, making video games was really, really ragtag. You had a dude in his basement, or you had a bunch of friends in like in the garage working on a game. That's all it was. It was these people, right? Like what's his name? Fucking Lord British, right? Making his fucking Ultima games like in his house, right, by himself. It is a bunch of really passionate people who just loved games, right? And so what happened was the gaming industry started to boom. And so like you had a bunch of like companies going, oh, we could make some money off of this. So then you had these companies grow, some of them become public, get bought out by other companies. And now you reached a stage now where all of that small grassroots gaming gave rise to these giant skyscrapers of big game companies, right? And with big game companies came lots of money, lots of investment capital, lots of employees. You started to see it was no longer 3 dudes in a garage making a game. It was now like hundreds of people working on a game. And now you've got all these artists and all of these sound designers, all of these like 3D modelers, all the way up. And now games started to turn into a cinematic experience where you had like, wow, guys, it's just like a movie. We're just like Hollywood. Look at us, guys. And that's what you had. And these companies got so big that like they had to keep hiring because you have to hire people. Like, how can you maintain such a large company? You have to start lowering the quality because you're gonna have to say like, okay, well, I can't hire like the obsessed autistic gamers that love games. We got to start hiring other people, maybe some people from Hollywood because we need more personnel. So start hiring people that actually don't even know anything about games, or like their experience with games is like playing Facebook games or something like that, right? With that comes this increase in expectation of quality. So now people are like, oh, the graphics are getting better. I need games to be this good. They need to have the good graphic. Only the big companies were able to make quote unquote AAA games because they have the funds to fuck around. They have the funds to lose. They have all of the employees that they can throw at it. And this is when you started to see indie gaming rise up, right? Because, more engines started to come out. You had, things like Unity, things like Godot, things like Unreal, making it so much easier for people to make their own indie games, right? And this is why the big gaming boom came out of mods, the modding community, because mods were a way for an individual passionate person to actually make a game using assets that they didn't have. Because again, like in order to make this custom game, you needed all of these employees. So that's why you saw, what did we see come out of that? Tower defense, auto chess, defense of the ancients, like MOBAs. You start Counter-Strike, you start to see all of these games come out from these kind of modding systems, right? And that started to grow as well. And simultaneously, you start to see these big companies collapsing because no one's playing their games because there's no passion in them. They're not fun. They don't actually cater to gamers. They cater to some bullshit that like gamers don't actually care about, right? And so this is why, by the way, I'm so excited about AI, because AI is the gaming engine taken to like the exponential level. It's the same thing. Yeah, that's right. PUBG too. PUBG, the Battle Royale, the whole thing, Fortnite, is all because of that. Exactly. DayZ, all of those zombie things all came from Arma. They were all Arma mods, right? Like I played original DayZ. Anyone in chat play original DayZ? If you're watching the video, make a comment. Did you play the original DayZ? I played it. That shit was so jank. You were getting you had like zombies under the floor, like swiping you, and like you couldn't fucking do anything about it. And you were like, you finally like made it to the airbase before everyone else. And you were like, oh, I got like all this good shit. All right, let me sneak into the woods and get out of here. Oh, let me take shelter in this house. And then the zombies like are hitting you from under the floor. You're like, oh God, what do I do? And then you fucking die. And then you wake up on the shore. And then you rage quit. DayZ was wild, dude. There was so many like funny games. Like there was Island Life, Altis Life, dude. There's Rust, like old school Rust, man. Good times, man. Good times. But the point that I'm saying is all of these things came from the passion of gamers. They didn't come from these AAA companies making like whatever the fuck game, like, version, sequel number 4 that's been totally cucked because it's filled with people that don't actually play these kind of games. It's full of non-core audience, non-core audience people. It's full of them. And this is why, again, I'm so excited for AI, because AI is just that to the next level. It is the exponential growth. You're going to see every single person being able to become a game designer, every single person being able to make games on their own or in small teams, small agile teams. We're like almost like we're going back in time. Like we're going back to like the garage, the 3 dudes in the garage, the 1 dude in the attic making games because they're passionate about it. And I'm so hyped for that. And here's the thing, people will say, well, Leaflit, aren't you worried that you're not going to have a job anymore because everyone can do it? I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I'm actually good at game design. So I'm not worried at all. I'm hyped because I get to make whatever game I want. You know, I'm so excited, man. Holy fuck, I'm excited. It's called competition. All I care about is games being better. That's all I care about. Gaming is very special to me because for me, and this is going to sound really sappy, but for me, games was kind of my refuge from life. You know, life is really gay. You know, like sometimes life is really gay. You know, I didn't want to deal with people and like being a kid is hard. And I didn't want to deal with all of the drama and all of the bullshit. I didn't like it, you know, and like the whole, I was like a nerd. I was kind of like an outcast, really. Like I don't know, autist or whatever you want to call it. I just didn't really get along with people. So it was kind of, for me, like MMOs and games was like everything to me because it was like my refuge from all of the shit that I didn't want to think about, you know? People fighting, you know, people fucking dickheads. So to me, it's like I just want gaming to win. That's all I care about because I want people in the future to have that refuge. I don't want the future to be filled with lame games.
It literally says her name and gender multiple times in the statement. And Paul would give a follow-up saying people are saying she was fired for breach of contract for violating...
Sorry, another thing too is I think that games, honestly, and this is like, I don't know, maybe this is pure cope. It's possible this is pure cope, but I really don't think I would be the person who I am now without gaming. And that's because, so when I have kids, I'm gonna like let them play games as much as they want, as long as they get all the responsibilities done. But the games are going to be old NES games or SNES games. And the reason why is because you know how like I'm really chill, and if something is really, really hard, I just keep doing it. Like if it's hard, I'm like, okay, well, I expect I'm going to lose 30 times. But then on the 31st try, I'm going to win, right? And like a lot of people are like, how can you do that, Leaflit? Like, how can you sit there and just parry the boss over and over again? Let me tell you, the reason why is because I played Contra, I played Ninja Gaiden, I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. And I got thrown into worlds like Zelda that didn't tell you fucking anything. Like you boot up Zelda and you literally just spawn in the world. And like there's no like, hey Link, how's it going? Welcome to Hyrule. Press A to pull out your sword. Like, it was like you got dropped in it. You didn't know what the fuck was happening. And you learned. Like, you went in there and you learned. And you learned to put up with failure over and over and over again, dude. Journey to Silius. I fucking died over and over and over again. Contra, I died over and over and over again. Mega Man died over and over and over again. Yeah, dude, Bubble Bobble was hard too. The point is like, I feel like I'm the person I am today because of games, because games gave me like that resilience. You know, it gave me that I can overcome, I can deal with it, you know, I can keep going. So it was like, so that's why I can face a problem that keeps knocking me down over and over and over and over again, right? It's because when I played games as a kid, I always got up again. Like I would play like my cousins or my friends in Smash Brothers Melee, and I would lose 50 times in a row. And then I would win the 51st one. And then I would win the 52nd one. And it was like the tables have turned, right? And I keep saying this, like I played Street Fighter with some of the best players. Like seriously, like some of the best players like in the world, right? Like I played with like Mike Ross. I played with like Tatsu. You guys know Tatsu. I played with a lot of these people, and I lost over and 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 over again. And I just never gave up. Alex? I think I played with Alex. Yeah, I played with Alex. But it was like, yeah, I just lost a lot, you know? And it was like, but then like it's worth it, right? It feels like so worth it because like you learn a little bit, like something like clicks in your brain. It's kind of like, it's kind of like AI in a way, right? Where you do it like over and over and over again. And then like at some point, a pattern just clicks in your brain and you're like, oh, I get it. And then when that happens, you start winning. But then you would never win if you don't get to that point. If you just give up after like the second time that you lose, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Her confidentiality clause. But she did not talk about the AI use publicly until after she was fired, which is when this story began. She may be breaking that clause now, but it's not why she was fired. The situation makes that pretty clear. Her quote that sparked this, "I didn't even see this had been announced.
I think that's why my brain is so weird, chat,
this one,
you know?
Saber replaced me with ChatGPT midway through development. All the passenger voices were AI too. Either they changed their direction at some point or they're not disclosing it on Steam." So basically they're coming out and saying, oh, she didn't do that. Well, it seems like the timeline doesn't make absolutely any sense at all. And people are pointing out what was stated by the CEO. Because I guess in this narrative, you have to just accept the word of Stella and ignore the CEO. Because I guess one's on the right side of history and the other one is not. So therefore, we can only trust Stella's word and not that of the CEO, who claims it was a confidentiality breach. But then again, for this whole confidentiality thing and the firing itself, the timeline presented by Stella doesn't even make sense and doesn't make sense. And the articles and people are pointing that in the proposed notes. But then again, what is Paul focusing on when people are questioning the narrative he's sharing? Responding to people saying it's a he. Saying, do you guys ever get tired of this? I would ask you, Paul, do you ever get tired of doing this? Because I think a lot of other people are tired of doing what you're capitulating to. But then again, a lot of the responses are to get a boycott, but there's a lot more saying this secured my pre-order of Space Marine 3 and future DLC purchases for Space Marine 2. Yeah, I think the statement from the CEO is hilarious, and I think this person, Stella, can't really be trusted whatsoever, and the fact that journalists and all of these sycophants on social media immediately jumped on the bandwagon without questioning anything is just, well, expected at this point. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads as well as multiple streams every week.
Man, that was so good.
Live on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Another great video by Rev Says Desu. That was very cathartic, to be honest. I loved that. It's about damn time, you know? That's kind of what it felt like to me. I'm just so tired of these people having control of everything, and it's finally great to see a CEO actually, instead of do the thing that is publicly. Because here's the thing, to be honest, I'm gonna be real. Gamers don't really care about a person being prim, proper, politician-like. In fact, gamers hate that shit. So, like, if you care about your target audience, then just say it how it is, because that's what gamers like. We just want the games. Exactly. We just want the games. Dude, you guys want to know a true story? I'll tell you a true story. My mom was working. She was working, and just out of nowhere, she just said, I kid you not, out of nowhere, she stood up from her seat, and she said, Indians! And then she sat back down. So funny, dude. It was so funny. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. It was so funny.